and welcome to Wake Up Legendary. I am your host once again, our 999th episode. Yes, tomorrow we hit 1,000. Dave will be here for that. And I get to be the last one before we hit that 1,000 number, which I'm pretty excited about. For those that are new here, my name is Joanne. I am the Director of Marketing and Life Training here with Legendary Marketer. And I've been pretty excited about today's interview, I got to tell you, because let me share with you why. We're pretty much all digital, right? Everything we do is virtual. We always do our trainings virtual, but a couple times a year we do a live event, our mastermind. And it just brings a whole other level of connection. It just does. And it's also the time when our team gets super excited because we all get to see each other as well. Well, today's guest, I met, I want to say it was my second or third mastermind that I had been to. Maybe it's my third one. I met him there. And that was well over a year ago at this point, maybe a year and a half, close to 2, maybe right in there. And he's now on Wake Up Legendary for the first time today when he attended that mastermind 2 years ago. He's been consistent. He's been through, I know, some struggles, some hard points, and pushing through, staying motivated, staying positive. Is on Wake Up Legendary often, is commenting, cheering on other people. I see him all the time in our community, and he's just a good human. That's how he comes across. He's just a good human. And he's the kind of person we just want in our community, which is also just really cool. He's just chill. I love it. So without further ado, please welcome Ron to the show. Good morning, Ron.
Morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and welcome to Wake Up Legendary. We're excited you're on today.
Thank you. Thank you. My first time, hopefully not the last, but
Never the last. Once you're a guest, we keep bringing you back. So
cool. Love to be back.
And I'm just got to say it because, I mentioned it off camera as well. You are wearing one of the very few red legendary hats that exist.
Absolutely.
They were just made for that one event. There's only a handful of them, and you got one of them somehow. You got your hands on one of them, so that's a relic of mastermind history right there that you're wearing on your head.
Absolutely. And just to show you the I guess the fortitude and tenacity that I've learned to put forth is I had to chase Dave down to get this hat. Okay. So I had to chase him across. After the thing was done, he kept walking away. I was like, no, he's not getting away from me. I'm getting a hat. So here it is.
I love it. I love that it was, like, this is what I'm going to do. And you weren't afraid to go talk to him. There was a girl like, oh, I want to say hi to Dave, but like, you're at the event. There's such a small group. He's totally chill. Go say hi and have a conversation. He's just hanging out.
Right.
And it's about just going after what you want, right? Even if it's the red hat.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I spent my early childhood being afraid of a lot of things. I had a huge influence from my grandparents. My grandfather is probably my rock. Well, it's not probably, he is. He taught me to not be afraid. One of the little quotes that he had was, he said, never be afraid of any mortal man or any living animal on this planet. However, respect everybody and everything. So if you find that balance, he said, life is a wonderful place to be. So.
Oh, well, I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
No, you're welcome.
Yeah, definitely. So give us your backstory. How did you find us? What were you looking for? All that good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So Won't tell you my whole life story, but you know, I drove trucks for almost 40 years. I did a lot. I did construction like Dave. Was down in the trenches. We grew up, didn't have a lot of money. So working hard was the only resolve for that. You had to get out and get yours. You know, if you didn't go get yours, you didn't get it. So, you know, um, but anyway, have always been pretty much of the entrepreneurial mindset. Again, my grandfather, okay, my mom's dad, had taught me. My parents said, "Hey, you want something? You want money to go get something from the store? You need to go earn your own money." Okay, fine. So I mowed yards when I was 12 years old. By the time I was 13, I had other people working for me and not working as hard. And my grandfather told me when I said, "Man, I've got too many yards. I can't get to them all." And he kind of sniggered and laughed. He said, "Well, sounds like you need to hire somebody." I said, I'm 13 years old. Who's going to work for a 13-year-old, you know?
Right.
So in the summer, I had 16, 17-year-old kids out of school working for me. And I basically took 10%. If a yard paid $10, they gave me $1. They kept the rest. And that was my first introduction to how that worked. And I was like, wow, I kind of like this. So I really think a lot of my entrepreneurial mindset came from that. Yeah. So it's been a hunt for the rest of my life ever since to find something that I can do, that I have the control of, that just gives me endless possibilities as far as what I want to have in life, you know. And I know that it's all on me. I only get out what I put in.
Right. Yeah. So true. It really, that's really that's all it is. That's the secret.
Right. Right.
It's so simple, Ron. It seems so simple, but yet it's so hard. Why do you think we struggle in general with that concept?
I think even myself, I've struggled with that too. So I'm not different than anybody else out here.
Yeah.
So I think the thing is that we get surrounded by the noise. I call it the noise. It's all the talk, the chatter, the what becomes our self-talk later. That if you listen to other people long enough saying, "Oh, you can't go do that. You have to do this." Then if you hear it enough, you start to believe it. You know, you start to go, well, maybe they're right. You know, maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. I think people really need to listen more to their heart and to a good, solid mentor or somebody that has good knowledge on a topic, good knowledge overall in general of self-worth. Everybody needs to have self-respect and listen to your own heart, listen to your mind. If you want to do something, you can go do it. There's nobody saying you can't do it except for those that don't want you to. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've had to learn how to separate myself from those that don't want me to advance. I'm like, okay, you know what? Good luck. I gotta go. See you.
Right. Yeah. And when you get in a community with like-minded people through the same journey, you don't have those people going, "You should quit."
Right.
Yeah, you should quit. Instead, when you present a challenge, you get ideas. You're presented with different options to problem solve, to overcome, to move through that challenge because they've been there, or they're going through it at the same time. Be like, "Oh, I got the same thing," or "Oh, I went through that last week." But you ask that question to somebody not in the same mindset space.
Right.
They will always go, "Why are you even doing that?"
Right. Right.
They will always try to bring you back down to where they are. It's usually the answers are very selfish in a way.
They are. It's kind of sad because I think that's not the way that this life was intended to be. Okay. Yeah. We are supposed to help lift each other up. That's my mindset. I want to help as many people as I can. When I find when an event happens through my social media and I get contacted by someone that lives in an area of the globe that I cannot help, it's frustrating to me because this is for everybody. Nobody's excluded in my mind. Now, there are certain reasons why, and I won't get into that, but there is logistical reasons, okay, for the business. But and I hope that those problems resolve themselves in the future, hopefully in the near future. So, but it's supposed to be where we lift up each other. All right. That's how we stand strong. That's how we come together as a community. That's how you build a community. They always coming up, they said, oh, it takes a village to raise a kid, so I believe in that.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
Right. And it takes a village of like-minded people. How about
that? Correct. Exactly.
It comes back to that.
Yeah. And without trying to be offensive, a village of idiots are going to raise an idiot. I mean, it's just that simple, right? So, but it's really mindset. It really is. Again, my grandfather told me, he says, don't let anybody tell you you can't do what it is you want to do. He says, you can do anything in this world you want to, if you want to bad enough.
And if you want it bad enough, if you're hungry enough for it. And that's where, as cheesy as it is, as cliche as it is, it's like, find your why. And in network marketing, they're like, find your why until you cry. Then you found your why. It's like the stupidest thing ever. But there is some truth there, we'll say. How about that? Right. There is some truth there, because usually on the surface, when somebody thinks about, oh, why am I doing this? Why am I learning this? What do I want to change? And they just go, money. I just want more money.
Right.
The problem is with that, yes, of course, everybody wants more money.
Right.
That you could have money and still be unhappy. You could have money and still have low self-esteem. You could have money and still be dealing with a lot of things that you need to address. And then you're going to lose that money fairly quickly as well, because you never address the underlying reason of why you're doing things, to push through those tough days, to push through the challenges, to stay motivated, which is part of our title in today's show. Is it usually ends up being there's a deeper reason. What will the money bring you?
Right.
That's really what your why is, and that's what will keep you going.
Right.
And push through and keep you motivated. But with our title today, what else kept you motivated through this, through the valley of despair, through the challenges? What are your tips, tricks, and all of that that's helped you?
So for me, the self-talk is huge. The tongue is mightier than the pen or the sword. Okay, however you want to say that. So what you tell yourself is eventually what you believe, right? Now, it's not just enough to believe it. You can read a million books, and this has been said over and over again by so many different people, so many different mentors, so many different coaches, people on the show. They've said this. You can read all the books in the world. If you don't put action behind that knowledge, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to do anything. You need to be positive in the things that you do. And I'm not perfect. I have my negative days. Trust me. We all do. Okay. But you have to fight through that. You've got to say, you know what? No, I'm not going to let that happen today. Today is this, or I'm going to make sure that 1, 2, 3, 4, these are the things that I'm doing today, regardless. Nothing else is going to get in my way unless it's a family emergency. Okay. But the thing is that you really need to stay vigilant about pushing forward, no matter what your event, your crisis, whatever it is. Okay. And if you have to withdraw a little bit during that time to regroup, to push forward, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Because in the end, it is your schedule. It is your life. It is what's going on with you. Okay. You mentioned early coming onto the show that I've had some challenges. Yeah. Again, I'm nobody special. I'm just like everybody else. The thing is you again, you got to want it bad enough. How bad do you want it? What is your why? My why is I want to help other people get to where I've only been one time, and I want to get back there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get back there so bad it's not even funny. But I know I'm not going to do it by myself.
Right.
So I don't want to compare myself to Noah, but I feel like I want to build a boat big enough to take everybody with me. That's my thing, because I want everybody to have this, right?
Yeah.
And not everybody's going to want to get on your boat and go with you. So unfortunately, it is what it is. That just means there'll be plenty of room for all that goes. So
right. Yeah. And I mean, that's one of the reasons I'm here, is how do I amplify this?
right.
How do we reach the most people to change, to create change,
Mm-hmm.
and cultivate a community and an environment and a space that is safe for somebody, that when they want it, are able to make those changes that they're looking for.
Right.
The existence of our course and our education and what we do here, it isn't enough.
No.
The person has to want the change and to take the action for the change, right?
Exactly.
But yeah, it's easy to look at what wasn't good with the day, what wasn't good with the week, what wasn't good with the month.
Right.
And we got to practice, well, what was good?
Right.
What was good? There's something good.
Yeah.
It's there.
Oh yeah.
We just gotta look at it. Look for it.
I often look at I have a lot of quotes in my head. I actually have written my own quotes. I probably should publish a book on that one of these days, but not right now.
Well, that's your content, Ron.
Yeah, exactly. True. It's a big part of my content for sure. The I guess the thing that for me is that not ever really having a lot when I was a kid, I saw other people that had things that I didn't. And I was like, well, okay, well, it does exist. It's not some mythical creature, How do they do that? I want to know, if you show me how, I can do that. In fact, I'll do it long enough, hard enough, and enough times that I'm going to be really good at it. Okay. And the thing is that through repetitive actions, if you do something long enough, you become very, very good at it. Okay. That's why some people stick into one job their whole entire life, because they want to be an expert at that one thing. Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I often say on my content, if you work half as hard for yourself as you do for somebody else, the world is yours. You could have everything and then some that you wanted in this world. All you have to do is work half as hard for yourself as you do for somebody else right now. Put that effort into you, invest in yourself, and keep going every day. Just don't say, oh, well, I tried that, it didn't work. Those people are never going to get anywhere with that mindset.
Yeah.
So.
And only half? Would you say, though, that once you get into it, once you're doing something for yourself, your own business, you realize how much more you're capable of?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? But yeah, if you just go for, if I just put in half the effort, but I would probably go on to venture to say you won't just put in half the effort, because it's yours.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You're not. You're going to wind up putting in 150%, and you're not going to realize it.
Right.
Because you're excited, you're driven. This is something that fuels your desire. This is something that you found your why, you found your passion. And it might not just be a niche that drives you. Okay. It's the reason that niche exists.
Right.
Okay. So, I mean, there's everybody has their own can of gas to light their fire with, you know what I'm saying? So it's just knowing that's yours and you can use that. But yeah, you're going to put in more than 50%. But I've noticed if I did, and I use that analogy because people work 40 plus hours a week at their job. Some people work 80 hours a week. This is insane.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll take an hour out of their week, carve out an hour somewhere in their time. If they're driven enough to find that hour, okay, they're going to put that 1 hour per week, 52 hours a year, the first year, right? And then they start moving forward, right? There's no set amount of time that really dictates whether you're successful or not, okay? I think the process is this. If you do something every single day, doesn't matter what it is. If you do something towards your business every day, read a book, the next day act on it. Later that day, act on it. Act on it when you're doing something else. There's a lot of things. You don't have to be just saying, oh, I've got to stop and do this. Okay. You can be doing your job. You can be doing something else and use that and still take care of that problem. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a lot of little pieces. It's like a puzzle, putting all the pieces together, right? Once you get that puzzle put together big enough, you start to see it. You're like, oh, here it is. Wow, I like this. This works. So that's one of the things that always keeps me going, because when I'm a research nerd, okay, I will do my homework till the end of time. I actually had to start drawing a line because I would do research on something I wanted to purchase, and I would research it so long they quit making it. So I completely lost out. So I had to learn, okay, at some point you have to commit.
We got to commit. We got to take some action, right? We can't
right.
forever.
There you go.
Right.
So
yeah.
It's huge. You know, you stepping forward sometimes can be the scariest thing, but I'm going to tell everybody, look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how horrible you bomb out. It doesn't matter how bad you do. Mm-hmm. The fact that you do it, that's the only thing that matters. Just get up and do it.
Take off. Stop grading yourself.
Right.
Like just do it. Don't be like, oh, I wonder if I'm going to be good at this. Is this going to be A work? Is this going to be D work? Who gives a shit? Who cares?
Right. Exactly.
Nobody's grading you except yourself and some imaginary judgment that you've decided somebody else is making on you.
Mm-hmm.
They're worried about themselves. Trust me, they're not thinking about you. They're not judging you. And if they are thinking about you, they are judging you in some way, they're freaking jealous.
Right.
There's something that they feel that they're missing that you're doing, and they don't like that.
Right. And those inadvertently will be the people to try to hold you back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you shouldn't do that.
People don't look backwards.
Right. Don't look back.
They don't look back.
Right.
Remember that, guys. And we got to take our action without putting like we're in some type of school grading scale of life. There just isn't.
Correct.
But it's hard, I know.
I think that's probably one of the hardest things for most of us to get past is knowing that it doesn't matter. Listen, nobody came into this world knowing what they know today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for somebody to tell me, oh, I can't do that, I say, sure you can. You can do that. You can do that if you want to. What you're telling me, and I'm not trying to be rude with anybody, but let's be brash with this. Let's be straightforward. If you tell me you don't want to do something, it's a couple of things. Either you're too lazy, or it doesn't matter to you, or you just don't have the self-worth to tell yourself that, hey, I can do that. Okay. Mm-hmm. So which one of those it is really not up to me. I don't really care. I know that sounds rude and I don't mean it that way, but it's really up to each individual. Okay. Mm-hmm. What you decide to do is what you decide to do. Right.
Yeah.
If you
do anything, no one made you buy something. Nobody made you quit. Nobody made you not ask a question. Nobody made you, not wake up and decide that you're not going to film or post anything for the next 3 weeks.
Right.
right?
Right.
There's a level of personal responsibility we got to take and stop playing victim.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And start loving ourselves a little bit more.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's,
Mhm.
I feel like I'm trying to dominate this conversation, and it's not what I want to do. So
I love it. Keep going. You know what I love, Ron? I'm just going to throw it out there. And I'm going to
yeah.
ask a question.
Okay.
You already, just from our conversation at Mastermind to our conversation over the last 25 minutes, you are a different person.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate. Yeah. Thank you.
So share with us what do you feel you've gained from where you started the challenge to where you are now? What are your wins? What did you gain?
Okay. So what I have gained personally is a deeper sense of commitment to myself and my wife and my family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have since removed myself from a very toxic environment that I was surrounded by, that I was forced to go to every day because I needed a paycheck.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's if the situation is that bad, remove yourself from it. Okay. I don't care what you have to do. If the things in your life are that toxic that they're keeping you from doing what it is you want to do, change your environment. You are in control of that. And I think a big part of me has come to realize, yes, I've always known that I'm in control of my own environment.
Mm-hmm.
But through the last year and a half, it became more obvious to me that I needed to take more action on a more consistent basis. Because when I saw this opportunity, I thought, oh man, that's cool. I can do that. I can do anything. All I got to do is learn how. Just get the skills and I'm good to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I got caught up in trying to figure out the logistics of how this worked. I'm going to look straight at everybody right now. Don't try to do that. Just get in there, learn something, and do it. Okay. Don't try to figure out how it works. Just know that it does work. Figure out what it is you need to do, and then do that. Take little bitty chunks at a time. I had sent an email to you back several months ago and said, hey, I need to do a reboot. This is just, it's driving me crazy. But I fell through the cracks, this, that, and the other, whatnot, so on and so forth. Due to lack of emails or whatever happened, I'm not sure. But I said, you know what, I don't care what happens, what doesn't happen, I'm moving forward. I'm going to scratch and scratch and scratch.
Yesterday is done. Yesterday is done. So what do we got to do today to move forward? Right?
Correct. Right. You can't change the past. You can try to rewrite it, but why? It's already done. Everybody knows what happened.
Yeah.
You know, especially in your life. But I guess the thing that has changed me is the wanting it bad enough. Okay. My want has become a stronger desire for me. And having skin in the game don't hurt. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, because I put almost $11,000 up in to do this. Okay.
Oh wow.
That was my input, right? Okay. I jumped in, both feet first, way over my head. That's all right. I can swim back to the top. It's no big deal. I get up there, I'll take a breath, and right back down. I was like, okay, just got to keep bobbing like a bobber on the surface of the water, you know. So, if you feel that you get into something too deep, don't give up. Don't give up. Don't quit on yourself is the one thing I would say.
Yeah.
Because you are the one person you need to service the most. Because if you can't service yourself, you can't service anybody else.
Oh. You got to get yourself whole, complete. It goes back to, you got to love yourself. You got to believe you're worthy. You're worthy of great things. You're worthy to be heard. Your words are worthy to be shared. Right? It really comes down to that, because when we don't have self-worth, that self-love of, no one's going to watch this. No one's going to listen to me. If you think that as you're filming, what do you think's going to come across the camera?
Oh, it shows. It shows.
Right? That you don't have the passion, the excitement, the joy, the love that people need to see and feel in that energy. They need to see and feel that. And it does come, you can't fake that.
No.
And you can't fake it very long.
Right.
So you got to get into a frame of mind before you film anything.
Right.
And tell yourself you're awesome.
Yeah.
You're worthy. You're amazing. You're going to try and reach Susie in Oklahoma or whoever your ideal audience is.
Right.
Because you have something that is going to help them today.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And get yourself in that confident kind of frame of mind, and then you film.
Exactly. Exactly. Because it's here's an exercise. If you're struggling with something, the first thing you should do is go stand in front of the mirror and just look at yourself. What do you see? Ask yourself, what do you see? Mm-hmm. What do I need to change? What's causing this? Why is this happening? Because it comes back to self-talk. People destroy themselves because they get in their own way. They get in their head and they can't get out of their own way. I hope that helps somebody. You know, I hope it helps everybody, but not everybody gets that when I say it. And I'm like, listen, pride sometimes can be the thing that destroys you the quickest. Let go of your pride. Everybody's different, but I don't think anybody's better than anybody else. I'm surely not better than anybody, for sure. I'm just, for lack of a better way to put it, I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut. Okay, so I'm just another squirrel in the tree. So, but I know that I'm gonna go get mine. I do know that. And now with Legendary, I know how. I've had my own businesses in the past, and I would hit a little peak and then I would come back down. You know, I was like, that was all involved in working really, 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 really hard. Literally almost putting myself in the hospital and killing myself to the point of exhaustion to reach that level of success. Not worth it. Not worth it. No amount of money in this world is worth that. Okay.
You can't spend any of it if you're dead.
Right. Exactly.
Spend any of it, you're so unhealthy, you're in bed forever.
Right.
We can't live like that. We can't thrive like that. What kind of spouse are you? What kind of parent are you? What kind of friend are you? What kind of child are you? We can't live like that.
Exactly.
So we got to figure out a way through it. Right?
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's but like I said, with Legendary, now I know how to go about doing that. And I do it in a smarter way. My grandfather used to say, hey, work smarter, not harder. You know, and I was like, okay, you know, sounds good, you know. But when I was younger, I was like, well, you know, you got to work hard. You got to work hard. That's what we've been pounding in our head all of our life, is we've got to go work hard. We've got to get good grades, go get a college education, go into that and get out there, get married, have kids, family, and live the dream life. Well, I've come to realize at my age of 64, that's not a dream. That's a nightmare. Okay. I try to reach people and say, hey, wake up. Wake up. You don't have to do all that. We've already done it. It didn't work. Okay. It's not working.
Yeah.
You know, I wished, well, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to do my part to make the changes. I'm not going to wish for anything anymore. Wishing is washing, so that it just goes away, because wishing doesn't work. If you put forth the action, there are always results. All right. You just
don't wish, set targets. I like targets even over goals. I've talked about this with
absolutely,
my kids, because goals even are very black and white. right? I have to have this by this date. I want to reach this. I want to do this. But it's either you do it or you don't. So you
Right.
either got it or you failed
Right.
the goal, right?
Right.
But a target, there's a lot of you just got to get on it.
Right.
How close were you to bullseye?
There you go.
Right? They're all good shots.
Mm-hmm. Right. You're hitting the target.
That's something that you gained. So I actually first heard this, gosh, on a call with a member 3 years ago. It was a gentleman. And he shared that mindset with me. And I thought it was beautiful. And I've used it ever since because it's so true.
It is. That is.
Always be learning. Always be open to new information, guys. You never know what's going to hit. And it comes back to don't set a goal of black and white. Set a target and then see how close you got to it.
Right.
Like, I guarantee you're on the board somewhere.
Right.
You're on the board. And you need to celebrate that and go, man, look how close I was. Look, I'm on the board. I hit my target.
Right.
It might not have been bullseye, but that's really hard to get.
Right.
I hit my target and I'm going to keep freaking going.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's really it. You just have to keep going. Pick a target and keep going at it till you hit bullseye. And until you can hit that bullseye and split that arrow with the next one and the next one and the next one, then you can kind of go, okay, I think I kind of got this, and start to relax a little bit. I say relax, never completely get complacent.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in an industry for almost 40 years that complacency will kill you and everybody around you.
Yeah,
that quick.
It does.
So it will remove you from the game. So
you got to stay on your toes. You got to be willing to grow. You got to be willing to try new things. You got to be willing to test. We do the same thing here all the time.
Absolutely.
It can't just be, well, we did that 7 years ago, so I'm going to keep doing that because that's what worked 7 years ago.
Right.
6 years ago, or, well, they told me to get that job 20 years ago, so I'm going to get that raise one day. They told me if I just keep coming, that raise will come. And it's been 20 freaking years. You haven't gotten the raise you're looking for. You're just staying stuck.
Right.
Right? You're staying stuck.
Yeah. It's one of my little quotes, and I kind of thought this out because I found myself around a group of people at a certain time that constantly gave me why they couldn't do something. And I was like, really? I don't understand that. Okay. I'm completely over here and you're over here obviously talking to me. There's nothing wrong with you being where you're at. Problem is that you're sitting here telling me, oh, I can't do that. I say, how do you know? Well, I just can't. I don't know how. Then go get the knowledge. See if you can actually do that or not. You don't know you can't do that until you try. It amazes me how quick people are willing to just quit on something they don't even know anything about. I don't know if it's a fear of not knowing, and that might be part of it. You can't be afraid. I'll circle back to that. You can't be afraid. If you're going to be afraid, you're just going to sit on that toadstool right where you're at, and you're going to grow mold over your head. Okay? That ain't pretty.
I find sometimes it's actually fear that the change will happen.
Sometimes you get scared enough. It's just like, oh, I'm not doing this.
Change is bad.
Yeah.
We've been taught that. Change is bad.
Right.
Can't have things change. Change is a bad thing. But change is where all of the beautiful gifts in the world happen.
Right.
Nothing changes unless something changes.
Right.
We're going to throw out some quotes, right?
Yeah.
And it really comes back to rewiring our mindset that we're all here. Every single person that comes to Legendary is looking for a change,
right,
but unwilling to make a change. Not all of them, many. That's where the stuck part comes. If you're stuck, it gets scary. Well, what if I do change? What if I do become an owner that's successful? What if I do get followers? And that's scary. That change is scary.
Yeah.
There's this weird, like, what if I have success? Well, crap. That's scary too. It's kind of wild. And you got to just be like, release. We got too much. We got too much pressure on ourselves. Too much pressure.
Right.
And then what if I don't? We gotta let it go and just let ourselves evolve kind of organically a bit.
There you go. There you go. And that's pretty much what I've been doing. If anybody goes to my sites, Facebook, Instagram, whatnot, they're not going to see a whole lot of super big content. I don't have thousands of posts. Okay. Mm-hmm. I actively have been back into doing this the last 6 months. I've been involved for 1.5 years. Mm-hmm. My first 6 months, I was banging my head against the logistics wall, trying to figure all this out, and it got me nowhere. I got in, bought the blueprints, bought the mastermind, went and got the LLC and all of that stuff. I mean, I'm licensed and ready, man. Here we go. There we go. So I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. This bar none, hands down. We're horses in front of the cart. We're out of here. Mm-hmm. So trying to figure out how it worked. Listen, people, don't do that. Don't try to figure out how it works. There's people out here that have that job that are figuring it out for you. All you got to do is take the material and the tools and the resources, use them, put those little puzzle pieces where they belong, and go. It's like I saw this, and it was from another country. And this is how quick, if you open your mind to how you look at things, mm-hmm. you can see something in India. Okay, I'm just going to use India for a real deal. And it was a video where this one person was getting across a water-filled street, right? They had 2 bricks. They put a brick down in front of them. They stepped on that brick. They picked up, they turned around, they picked up the other brick. They set it down. Hey, that's all they needed was 2 bricks. They kept their shoes dry. They got across the street. And I was like, now see, that's using your head. Mm-hmm. It might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I guarantee you it'll work for anybody that does it. Mm-hmm. So my analogy there is it doesn't, you don't have to try to figure this out. It's already been done. People have spent countless hours at their jobs creating these resources, these apps, everything else. Let them do that. You have a greater goal in mind. You have a bigger target to hit, okay? Mm-hmm. So move forward with that.
Right.
And don't let anything stop you. Don't let it if it gets in your way, pull your broom out, brush it off. Let's go.
Right.
I got to clean it off. I can't step on a dirty stone. Let's go.
I don't know what this reminds me, but it's like when I go to a movie with my husband. It's like a sci-fi, and he'll sit there and be like, "How do they do these special effects?" And we're like in the middle of the movie, and these are questions he's asking, and I go, "You're missing the whole movie." And then he's like, "So what happened? What just happened? Why did that?" And I'm like, "Because you're so worried about how they made, something blow up."
Right.
And made the special effect. That's not the purpose right now. That's not the point of why we're here, what we're doing. And now you've missed half one of the freaking movie, and you're asking us what the fuck's going on. Excuse my language,
You're funny. You're
right?
funny.
Because the focus was on the wrong thing. The focus
was on the wrong
area at that time, right?
Exactly. Correct. You're exactly right.
Where is your focus going to be? You can be stuck in the funnel hole. I've seen it for months. And that funnel's not live yet. You haven't made a drop of content.
Right.
You don't have a single person on your email subscriber list because you're still working on your funnel.
Right.
You're still working on that funnel. I have to figure it out. I have to make it perfect. It has to be this. I need to understand every piece, why I put this color here, why the button is there, how much space. I have to understand every little ounce of it. And it's like, no, you don't. You don't
Right.
right now. You don't right now.
You don't. Exactly.
You get it done.
Right.
Done and going. Right?
The reason I wear a hat is because I've got so many knots on the back of my head from kicking myself with my own boot. Okay. So, but yeah, no, you don't. Trust me. Take it from a guy who tried to do it that way. People, it don't work. It does not work. Forget that. Even, and my deal is I'm a logistical guy. That's where my head was at most of my life. And it got me great places. Okay. This is not that. This is not that. So anybody that comes into this is a logistics person or an engineer kind of mindset, whatnot. I do all kinds of building. I don't know if people have watched my Facebook or whatnot, but I have another Instagram. I even have a YouTube channel. Okay. I have to separate these two things and say, okay, I'm over here today. The latter half of the day, I'm over here. Okay. Start my day with this and I'll go to that. So, but it works for me. It works for me, keeps me really, really, really busy. Okay. But I finally understood. I was in that stuck funnel, that funnel that couldn't go nowhere. Okay. I'm going to say at this point, everybody that's listening on this show, this community is one of the best communities on the planet. If you need help, I don't care what you're stuck on. Get inside the forums, the support 101, get to the hot seat if it's your social media. These people here at Legendary will help you hands down. They will drop what they're doing for the most part, unless it matters that much. If they can't get to you, they're going to get somebody who can. Okay. So use this community to your best advantage to move forward with your success. That's my message.
I love it. Thank you.
No, I'm being honest.
We want our students to be successful. We want to see you go through the change. We want to see you that help. That's good for us also, right? Ultimately we want to see people make a difference in their life. That's really, I mean, and that's what our whole leadership team is driven by, is really seeing people find their best version of themselves. We're not driven by another course, but we or this or that or this sale or that sale. We're driven by, what do we need to do to make this easier? What do we got to do to help them more, to help our students more? And that's what we live by every day. We talk about it when we're in person. What do we got to do to make this easier, better, stronger, whatever it is? Where's the roadblock for our students? Let's figure it out. But just figure out the roadblock is when people ask questions and we go, okay, we're getting a lot of this one question.
Right.
Let's fix this. How can we?
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
So it's like, ask the questions, ask for help. And do it in a way like, I'm looking for growth. I'm looking for health, wealth, change, all the things. Can you help me? Can you help me? You
Absolutely.
know? Yeah.
Because we are not meant to do this on our own. Again, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the show. Pride can be the number one killer of a person's success, life, story, targets, all of it. If you let your pride get in the way, now, I will be embarrassed. I wouldn't want to ask for help, or I don't want them to know I don't know this. Okay. Come on, let's get real. You came into this world, you didn't know one single thing. As we live our lives every day, we have the ability, we're given the gift to learn something new every day. Sometimes you learn multiple things in a day that's brand new. I used to grovel when I was younger. I hate life. I love life, but I'm older enough now to appreciate why. Why do I love life? Look at all the gifts that I get every single day. I am more blessed than I deserve to be. Okay. I don't have a mansion in the hills. I don't have trillions of dollars. No, I don't need all that. I want to have a good financial stability to where if something comes up for my family, my wife, my daughter, all the kids, grandkids, great grandkids, all that. If something comes up, I'm like, boom, done. This is not an issue. We're going to take care of that. Right? That's what money does. That's all that money does, is it helps you get through those kind of trials. It doesn't decide whether you're happy or not. It doesn't make you better or worse than anybody else. The monetary value statute is trash. It's trash. Forget it. The value is in you. Make sure that you're the number one commodity in your life, because once you do that, you can be that commodity for everybody else.
Yeah. Huge.
Oh.
Ron, this has been amazing. Right? This has been a phenomenal episode.
I've had a blast.
I hope this is all of your content and more. This is what you need to be sharing, hands down. And you definitely need to come back. I know Dave would love to chat with you as well and hear your story and your history and all of that.
Absolutely. And I'd love to get on here with Dave.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to virtually poke him.
And you can keep, I always want updates, and keep sending me your emails. I love it. Keep me posted on all the things.
Absolutely.
And then as you get, in a few months, let's get you back on. Okay.
Oh, that'll work. That'll work. I'm excited. I look forward to it.
Yeah. As Sandy says, yes, this is another rewatch episode for sure, guys.
Oh, cool. I'm not seeing any comments. I didn't switch anything.
If you want to fill your cup today with some love, Ron, go into these comments.
Okay.
And go read them. You will love them, and it'll go check them out for sure. Take a moment for yourself and read these comments.
Okay. Well, cool. I appreciate that. That's
very amazing, very positive. Just a phenomenal group of people that are on today in the comments, and I appreciate everyone's positivity as well.
Awesome.
Huge.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely. One final thing before we go, and I hope that this continues for everybody. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Since coming to Legendary, it's like walking through the doors of a new school. When you first walk in, you're going, wow, this is so cool. This is wow. And the cool thing about this, I didn't meet any bullies. Was no bullies, everybody here has love for everybody. I'm home. This is where I belong, with this family right here. This is to me, and I look forward for the rest of my life to see those people coming into this family, and we're able to hold hands, virtually or otherwise, in person. I'd love to meet every single person. I know that's probably never going to happen, but I want to meet as many as I can. I'm going to try to get as many masterminds as I can in the future as well. If I can't, it's going to be business keeping me from getting there. So,
well, I'm going to put it on your target. Your target needs to speak.
Okay. Yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
That'll work.
Yeah.
But I just that's kind of my goal. That's kind of my goal. And that's another driving force for me. So.
Yeah. Well, I loved it. I love this conversation, and I always love chatting with you.
Oh, same here. Same here.
I feel
here, but I'm so glad
honored and blessed that I got this opportunity today.
Now, see, that's right back at you. Right back at you. I was like, oh, I got JoJo.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, thank you for coming on, and definitely we'll be in touch for sure.
You bet. Thank you.
All right, guys, go give Ron a follow on Facebook, please. Go search Unlimited Possibilities for You on Facebook. He also has let me pull it up, an IG account called Own Your Future with Ron. All connected, no spaces, no dashes. Go give him a follow on Instagram as well. And then Facebook is Unlimited Possibilities for You. You can also find him in our communities. You can search his name. He's always commenting, all that good stuff. He's a regular on Wake Up Legendary as well. And you can give him a follow and reach out to him. Let him know. Go follow his pages. Let him know you saw his interview. This was absolutely amazing. I personally can see the transformation of just, he was an awesome person when I first met him, and he's just even more confident and all the things, really stepping into his greatness. And his next 12 months is about to blow up. I'm going to call it right now. So I'm really excited for Ron. Keep going, keep pushing, and keep doing your thing. And tomorrow is our 1000th episode. Dave will be here. 1000th episode. Wild. I'm excited. You don't want to miss it. Be here early, set your alarms, be ready for all that we're bringing to you. And as always, my friends,